Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Saturday, the 22nd of November, 2025, the year BSV comes alive. Branch of threads, expand your mind with treechat.ai or your post put on chain. Here we go. So we're just going to go over some posts on my feed. Today is the anniversary of the assassination of JFK, so we'll just remind ourselves about that. And then obviously got to talk about the epic interview that Craig did with Neil Oliver. Loving that. And then we'll go through the figures just to see what's going on. Just got a new one here today. The MicroStrategy shares down almost 60% in 6 months. Oof. Is all I can say on that. And then we'll finish with some 365 days of Bitcoin history. Right, let's get into it.
Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong and transactions flying free. Just wait for the Terra node, you'll surely see.
Here we go. Alrighty then. So for anybody who is really interested, so this is my sort of first post today. On this day, the 22nd of November, 1963, there was the assassination of JFK. And if you click 1 hour, 59 minutes, 36 seconds on my documentary on Rumble, it will take you to JFK. So hopefully we'll be able to see this here. Check it out. So this is what you see. And all you need to do is go down to show more. And look at this. The entire documentary is time-stamped in the description. So we go down to 1 hour 59:36, 1 hour 59:36, right the way to 2 hours 44. So it's about 44 minutes. And then it goes on to the Zapruder film. And everything you want to know about JFK is in this bit. Have a look at this. Here we go.
And this leads us on to the tragic story of President John F. Kennedy. JFK was a lover of democracy, freedom, and of the American people. Known affectionately by his close friends and family as Jack because of his initials, JK, he found the ideology and the intentions of the American corporations and the CIA of installing a totalitarian dictatorship morally repugnant. He had been made aware of their intentions since he first entered politics. This was because it was the US corporations that rigged the elections. They made sure that they controlled both candidates. As you can see here, this was the presidential debate for his election. We've got John F. Kennedy on the left and Richard Nixon on the right. This was the advert that the American corporations and Prescott Bush put out to attract a second candidate. They knew that an advert like this would get them exactly the type of man that they wanted. It read, wanted, desperate politician to do despicable things for cash. Apply in writing to Prescott Bush, care of Brown Brothers Harriman. And this is Prescott Bush congratulating Richard Nixon on his successful application to fill the position. JFK.
Honestly, you just couldn't believe it. But this is what happened. This is what happened. Unbelievable.
Was a family man who loved.
And I remarked
of where on an empty street you can hide a man with a rifle, and how he can manage to shoot a man speeding past him in a limousine. The answer is that he can't, and that is why the driver, William Greer, looked around twice to see whether Kennedy had been hit in the head, and when he saw he hadn't, as dozens of witnesses, including police officers, confirmed, he stopped the car completely.
His orders was to slow down where the rest of the guys.
this is Greer, the driver of the presidential limousine.
Yeah, presidential limousine, slow down almost to stop.
It is now that most people have been led to believe that Kennedy was shot in the head by Charles.
Just amazing. Incredible stories. But we know what
Assassination moments. Out of the way, his Gaddafi that Oswald was
that they had not viewed the film yet?
Well, there we go. Just heartbreaking what they did to him. Absolutely heartbreaking. But, you know, they had to do it in order to fulfill their dastardly plans. There was a body switch that was involved. They killed J.D. Tibbet, whose nickname was JFK. They did a body switch with him. Then they framed Lee Harvey Oswald. But the real killer was Jack Allen Lawrence, who shot him from the culvert. Honestly. And let's have a listen to this. Now, this is what we really need to pay attention to.
If you are awaiting a finding of clear and present danger, then I can only say that the danger has never been more clear, and its presence has never been more imminent. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. It conducts the Cold War, in short, with a wartime discipline no democracy would ever hope or wish to match. I am not asking your newspapers to support an administration, but I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people.
There we go. He knew. He knew. And he asked for our help and tried to warn us. And they got rid of him. But yeah, a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy over 3,000 years old. And people just wouldn't believe it. But what are you going to do with a conspiracy that's so big? Well, I tell you, the only way out of it is to guide people out of it, even if they don't know about it. And that is what we use Bitcoin for. Bitcoin is the only way out of it. And check this out. JFK files Bush, where they say, he said here, well, you won't find a lot there, but if you search in other places, you will. Find our deep state started with the Bush Empire. Look up Operation 40. This group was basically ran and headed by George Bush Sr., made up of exiled Cubans he was supervising as dirty tricks teams for Nixon, were photographed in the Pruder film. This group, called Operation 40, was Cuban exiles that they put together as a CIA operative to basically help overthrow and assassinate Castro. They had this plan that the team could do more for the CIA to create a group to help with any foreign person they needed to assassinate. It turned around where that is not the only operation that this group could do. As in, George Bush Sr. had his hands deep in the cookie jar. Walker Bush Sugar Holdings in Cuba was a conflict of interest. This also started the Mexico CIA money line that made its way into the hands of the Watergate burglar. Ever wonder why he and Junior kept up wars in the Middle East? They owned a lot of the oil, and it's all about the money. Then George H.W. Bush knew the family of the man who shot Bush's then boss, Ronald Reagan, in 1981. John Hinckley Jr., the man who shot and nearly killed President Ronald Reagan in 1981. An attempt which, if successful, would have resulted in the then Vice President George W. Bush moving up to the top spot. Was none other than a friend of the family Bush. The Hinkleys were donors to Poppy Bush's political campaigns over the years, and they gave to support the first unsuccessful bid for Congress of the young George W. Bush in 1978. The families lived close to each other. They socialized at one point. They may have shared the same lawyer. Samuel Hinckley Sr. was the father of John Hinckley Jr., the man who attempted to assassinate President Ronald Reagan in 1981. Obama and the President Bush are 10th cousins, once removed, linked by Samuel Hinckley. Oh my goodness me. No way. Obama and the President Bush are 10th cousins, once removed. Whoa. That is heavy. And look at this. All right, I did JFK, I did 9/11. Absolutely unbelievable, yeah. And this was George Bush Sr. in Dallas, right there, hands kinked in his pockets. That's him when he was younger. 2nd November 1963, and the only man who can't remember where he was on the day that JFK was assassinated. But we've got the records of it because we know which hotel he was staying in, and he says he can't remember. How convenient is that? But that's just a massive sign of guilt. Can't remember where he was when Kennedy was shot. Everybody remembers that. That was like the shot that was heard around the world. Honestly, just a bunch of liars is all they are. Check this out. So we just got to mock this. This is hilarious. So Peter McCormack is actually laughing about the interview with Neil Oliver and Craig Wright. I mean, honestly, the guy is a self-confessed moron. I don't know what else to say about it. So there's utter woke nonsense from this goon. Honestly, it's hilarious. Andrew Bridgen has posted, he said, institutional child trafficking and the people trafficking into the UK, different players, but same script as the US. When the people of Britain realise the establishment are involved, A. Bridgen spoke about this, his source, and intel on the very subject. Yeah. They're all in on it. They're all in on it. Bitcoin is the only way to stop it. Get out of their financial system. This was hilarious. Look at this Tufty the cat getting his knickers in the twist about the interview with Neil Oliver and CSW. He said, my plea to Effington, I think that's the F for Effington, she's the Israeli journalist, obviously didn't work. It appears that the Coast Guy has been sucked into the fraudulent world of fake Toshi. That's right. We're all Satoshi apart from Craig Wright. That's right. He goes, this is such a shame. And he said, please, Efrat, talk some sense into your friend Neil. And she said, you get Bitcoin in your own time. She knows. She knows. That is massive. Look, she's telling him. You get Bitcoin in your own time. As in kind of like wakey, you know. Brilliant. I love seeing all these people getting their knickers in a twist. Loving this. Andrew Bridgen said, watch Tony Blair challenged over his meetings with Bilderberg Group. See the fear in Blair's eyes. The Bilderberg Group meets in secret, and the doctrine originated in 1953. Silent weapons for quiet wars is a script for the subjugation, control, and gaslighting of humanity. Yeah, wow. Literally one of the most evil people in the world. And check this out. Could you believe it? Candice Owens posted here, claims that the Macrons have executed upon and paid for her assassination. This was on her Facebook page. So let's have a read of this. Candice Owens' post on Facebook. She says, urgent. 2 days ago, I was contacted by a high-ranking employee of the French government. After determining this person's position and proximity to the French couple, I've deemed the information they gave me to be credible enough to share publicly in the event that something happens. In short, this person claims that the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination. Yes, you read that correctly. More specifically, that the green light was given to a small team in National Gendarmerie Intervention Group. I'm told there is one Israeli that is on the assassination squad, and the plans were formalized. Again, this person provided concrete proof that they were well placed within the French government apparatus. Further to this point, the person claims that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion 13th Brigade with the multi-state involvement. Journalist Xavier Poussard's life is also at risk. This is deadly serious. The head of state of France apparently wants us both dead and has authorized professional units to carry this out. I ask that every person retweet and share this. Yeah, absolutely, I'm doing so. I do not know who in the American government can be trusted, since this source claims our leaders are aware. but I have more specific information which is definitively verifiable. Should they care to reach out to me. The brave official in France who did this because they were so moved by the evil of Charlie Kirk's public execution to risk their own life. May God bless you truly. That is absolutely outrageous. So now they actually want to do a hit on Candace Owens. Like, holy shit. Holy shit. And let's get on to this interview with Neil Oliver and CSW. So he sort of drops a few clues. I mean, this is a great interview. Drops a few clues as to what's going on here. Let's see if we can play this.
Bus or die in the next sort of short period of time. But all of us are limited in our lives. We all have an end. So will there be an end? Well, eventually. I won't be able to do this forever. But for now, there isn't. For now, I'll keep struggling. For now, I'll keep pushing for this. The idea is too beautiful not to sort of evolve, to be grabbed, to be.
Love it. Love it. That's fantastic. I'd well recommend watching that interview. And Crypto Big Boss said here, someone found out 50k purchase on MEXC in one go. So this is looks like somebody purchasing a genuine Bitcoin, BSV. Look at that. Quite, I mean, when you consider that's genuine Bitcoin, the number of coins, like, whew, that's a lot of Bitcoin there. That's a lot of Bitcoin there for a relatively small amount. A relatively small amount, but yeah. Amazing. All right, let's carry on here. Let's have a look at the figures. Great coin, 84,000. Bitcoin, just 21. So what's this? B crash going to 550. What a piss take that is. Anyway, hash rate 0.02, network node 00. Transactions, that's right down, 17.28. Block size, 69%. Ooh, nothing to write home about there in terms of block size. Be interesting to see what the profitability is. 31,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Gradecoin. But it's only 0.8% more profitable to mine on Gradecoin over Bitcoin, literally. And yet there's like, hardly any transactions on the network, and it's 31,000 times cheaper. That is nuts. Look, there's only 17% of the transactions. So Gradecoin now got 80%, and yet it's 31,000 times cheaper, but it's 0.8%. You're only mining Gradecoin at a 0.8% more profitability. That is crazy. There is so much potential left in Bitcoin. That is amazing. Mate, what a position to be in. So we've got Gradecoin, other miners, 5% on there. B Crash, other miners, 13% on there. Fisher Price Cash, other miners, 18%. And again, the figure's not really being reported by CoinDance. But only 109,442 transactions over the last 24 hours on Bitcoin. Let's have a look, see if we can see this mining. Come on. 24 hours will do nicely. See if we get to see this. Oh, come on, it'll be good. I'm sure you can load. Maybe we'll have to come back to that then. But yeah, transactions right down. Look at that. Also, BitInfo chart's only saying 90,780. Hardly anything on there. Bitcoin versus Gradecoin price action though. 20 seconds, so we were winning against Gradecoin there, and then look at that boost. But then selling pressures just brought it back down again. Again, I would suggest complete another market manipulation. Nothing else but. So this is Bitcoin versus US dollar on Orange Gateway. Just generally plodding along sideways there. A little bit of a rally, but came back down. Let's just see what that looks like against the big dog. Gradecoin, yeah, winning against Gradecoin. Look at that. Look at that. So yeah, we were winning and then they brought it back down again. Amazing. Let's have a look at the overall market. Oh, just $2.8 trillion. Down from $4 trillion. So they've lost $1.2 trillion in market cap. Great coin here, $84,000. 24-hour trade volume, 2.7%, representing $45 billion. Price just trending sideways there. But the main question is, where is Bitcoin amongst all of that? Let's have a look. Charts on the left-hand side looking all very similar there. On the right-hand side even. Let's have a look. Where are we? Oh, 81. 81. Just a 3.54% 24-hour trade volume, representing 14 million. That's buys and sells. $7 million will buy everything that's for sale on the market. And the volume then being divided up a little bit. Huobi, CoinDCX. Yeah. All right, interesting. Let's close that down. Let's have a look at MicroStrategy. Check this out. 6 months, down 57.32%. Like literally almost 60%. It looks like MicroStrategy is about to get rugged. Great coin down, MicroStrategy down. MicroStrategy might have to start selling Great coin to pay back their investors. Oh, this is what you get when you enter a Ponzi scheme. It's not looking good at all. Oof. I'm not going to see the mining stats there. So 365 days of Bitcoin history. Yeah, today was the anniversary of the assassination of John F. Kennedy by his own security forces. Absolutely outrageous, utterly treasonous. But this is why there wasn't anything going on in the world stage from 1960 to 1970, because they were planning, plotting, and covering up the assassination of JFK. They were totally preoccupied with it. 22nd of November 2009, Satoshi wrote, "Welcome to the new Bitcoin forum. The old forum can still be reached here." He said, "I'll post some selected threads here and add updated answers to the questions where I can. Frequently asked questions at bitcoin.sourceforge.net." And you can download it there. Ooh. All right. See if it's still there. Are we going to get to see anything? Waiting for SourceForge to respond. Oh, there it is. Oh, an error has occurred. Never mind. But that's what he wrote. There was the new Bitcoin forum. Was this Bitcoin Talk? Welcome to the new Bitcoin forum. Satoshi, senior member. OP. Yeah, welcome to the new Bitcoin forum. The old forum can still be reached here. I'll repost some selected threads here and add updated answers to the questions where I can. There we go. That's a little bit of Bitcoin history there. Just amazing. Wonder how many people were in Bitcoin back then. Really not many. And on the 22nd of November 2022, CoffeeZilla exposed the audit firm FTX used was called Praja Metis and had its registered office address in Decentraland, the metaverse. Honestly, you couldn't make it up. Absolutely hilarious. Look at that. FTX Group received audit opinions on December 31st, 2021. The audit firm for WRS Silo, Amorino, something, said, "I am professionally familiar. The audit firm, the .com Silo, was Praja Metis, a firm with which I'm not familiar, and whose website indicates that they are the first ever CPA firm to officially open its metaverse headquarters in the metaverse platform Decentraland." Oh my God. Absolutely hilarious. Honestly, you couldn't make it up. You couldn't make it up. There we go. Oh, anything else on the 22nd? Oh, well, that's it for the 22nd. Brilliant. Right, there we go. We'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed it. As ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
The king still has one more move.